Good afternoon, learners. My name is Atrey Sinha, Academic Officer English, National Institute of Open Schooling. Today we will read the second section of the story, I Must Know the Truth. We have read the section 1 of this story in our previous class. So today we will do the section 2 of the story, I Must Know the Truth. This is a story of Aradhana, who is a very good dancer. And she is all set to inaugurate the annual dance show of a music school by her dance performance. And the story opens with opens at the backstage of the dance performance. And so she was happy and excited, so her family members, but everything goes upset. And we will find out the reason of her being upset. So, first of all, we will have a quick recap of section 1 and then we will move on to section 2. In the section 1 of the story, we have seen that just before the annual dance show of the Kamala Devi School of Dance and Music, the narrator, whose name is Simi, interacts with her sister Aradhana at the backstage. Simi accidentally crushes the flower in Aradhana's hair while hugging her. She was super excited to congratulate her sister that she is performing at the inaugural program, inaugural item. Her dance is selected as the inaugural item of a grand dance show, grand dance program. So she was trying to congratulate her and accidentally crushes the flowers in Aradhana's hair while hugging her. And this leads to a brief moment of distress between the two sisters. Despite Simi's reassurance about Aradhana's beauty and Aradhana's get-up, Aradhana seems doubtful and looks at herself in the mirror to validate. And there's a poignant moment where Aradhana acknowledges the beauty of the narrator beyond external adornments for presumably for her fair complexion. Aradhana has a darker complexion, though she is very talented, though she is very much, her physical appearance is very much beautiful, but still she has a darker complexion, and so somehow she suffers from an inferiority complex. And the narrative then shifts to a family gathering before the performance by Aradhana. And their grandmother and Aunt Pramila, accompanied by their mother, came to meet Aradhana. And the mother then reveals that the family has a special gift for Aradhana, which will be given today, given on the occasion of this dance performance, instead of waiting for her 18th birthday that would become next month. However, the joyous atmosphere takes a turn when Aunt Pramila makes some hurtful comments about Aradhana's complexion and her suggestive adoption, and it creates an uncomfortable moment. Then Grandma intervenes and scolds Aunt Pramila, taking her away. And Simi, the narrator, the sister of Aradhana, who was very much aware of Aradhana's sensitivity of the complexion, consoles her sister and dismisses Aunt Pramila's comments as the rantings of a bitter person. Thus, the story explores the themes of beauty standards, family dynamics, and societal expectations. And it touches on the complexity of relationships within the family, and the importance of self-esteem and the impact of hurtful remarks. And it also introduces various elements including family dynamics, societal expectation, and the emotional challenges faced by the characters as they prepare for a significant event. So here's we ended at our the section 1 of our story, I Must Know the Truth. Next, we will move on to the part 2 of the story. Let's read the first portion of the story. I tried to pull her away from the mirror. Her here indicates Aradhana. I tried to pull her away from the mirror, away from Grandma, and Aunt Pramila, whose voice rose aggressively. Of course she needs to know. Come, Aradhana, ignore her. So Simi, the narrator, tries to take Aradhana away from this sudden complex and unwanted situation, especially just before an important dance performance. I tried to pull her away from the mirror, away from Grandma and Aunt Pramila. It shows Simi's affection and love for her sister once again. She doesn't want to ruin the day for Aradhana. Aunt Pramila, whose voice rose aggressively, of course she needs to know. Although the desperate effort of Grandma and Simi, Aunt Pramila did not want to make an end of this conversation, of the ongoing conversation regarding Aradhana's complexion and Aradhana's adaptation. So her voice rose aggressively, emphasizing that Aradhana should know the fact. Once again, Simi put an effort to distract her sister from the present conversation, and she said Aradhana to ignore her. If you remember that in section 1, when Aunt Pramila made her entrance in the scene, she was referred to as a bad omen. And now it is suggested enough that indeed she was so. Next paragraph. I have told Sunita time and again. My aunt's voice was low, but not low enough for us not to catch each and every syllable she uttered. I told her the other day too. An adopted child must know the truth. She has to tell Aradhana sooner or later. She must know. I have told Sunita time and again. My aunt's voice was low, but not low enough for us not to catch each and every syllable she uttered. So the narrator is saying that her aunt, Aunt Pramila, her voice was low. She had down her volume, but that was not enough because Simi and Aradhana can easily heard each and every syllable Aunt Pramila had uttered. So her voice was quite prominent enough. And what did she say? I have told Sunita time and again. She has to tell Aradhana sooner or later. She must know. Aunt Pramila is suggesting then that Sunita has to tell everything to Aradhana, if not today, then the next day. But she is bound to reveal the truth, and Aradhana must know the truth irrespective of how harsh it is. Next paragraph. Adopted child. Aradhana an adopted child. I stared at her. Our eyes locked. I held out a hand that didn't quite reach Aradhana. Like Aunt Pramila's poisoned words, my arm hung suspended in mid-air. Adopted child. So it seems that not only Aradhana, it is also unknown to the narrator Simi as well. None of them knew it and become surprised. Adopted child. Aradhana an adopted child. I stared at her and our eyes locked. So when Simi, the narrator, looked at Aradhana, she finds that Aradhana is also looking at her. And I held out a hand that didn't quite reach Aradhana. Simi tries to hold Aradhana, but she couldn't. Her hand couldn't reach to Aradhana. Then she compares the situation with her hand is hung in the midair, just like the bitter and harmful words spoken by Aunt Pramila. I held out a hand that didn't quite reach Aradhana. Like Aunt Pramila's poisoned words, my arm hung suspended in midair. Poisoned means very much harmful. We move on to the next paragraph of the story. I feel a sickening wave pull me off the ground from somewhere, from a cloud of mist and fog. My grandmother's voice reached me. Let Sunita tell her. It doesn't have to be you. And now, not another word, Pramila. I forbid you to utter another word. So, the story goes like that. I feel a sickening wave pull me off the ground from somewhere, from a cloud of mist and fog, my grandmother's voice reached me. So the description evokes a sense of disorientation and emotional depth, inviting interpretation and reflection on themes of familial bonds and the subconscious mind. A sickening wave suggests a feeling of discomfort, a feeling of uneasiness due to a sudden unwanted situation that came up suddenly. At that situation, Simi hears the voice of her grandmother suggesting to Aunt Pramila to stop, and it shouldn't bother her. Let Sunita tell her. It doesn't have to be you. Sunita, the mother, will take care of the responsibility, and it is not Aunt Pramila who should reveal, who should disclose the secret. And now not another word, Pramila. I forbid you to utter another word. So grandmother further warns Aunt Pramila not to further proceed with the conversation. Next paragraph. It's too late. I wanted to scream. Too late. Look what you have done. But I couldn't struggle out of the fog that enveloped me, imprisoned me. Aradhana. So the narrator feels much irritation and anger as their conversation goes long, and it is of no more use to stop this. She wanted to scream. It's too late now. I wanted to scream. Too late. Look what you have done. But she wanted to scream, to cry that they are now much late to conclude the topic, and their words have already done the harm, and it's too late now. I wanted to scream, too late, look what you have done. But she couldn't. But I couldn't struggle out of the fog that enveloped me, imprisoned me. She couldn't break, the narrator couldn't break that mysterious fog that has enveloped her. And that means that she couldn't rely on her voice, that it would reflect or make an effect of her words. And she feels that she was bound not to scream at them, at the elders. And instead, she calls her sister, Aradhana. What happened next? She didn't hear me. She here refers to Aradhana. She didn't hear me. She stood in frozen despair, screaming a great silent scream full of pain. Aradhana, Aradhana, I shook her by the shoulders. Dadi, Dadima, I cried helplessly. Come quickly. So Aradhana doesn't respond to Simi's call. She didn't hear me. As the narrator says, she didn't hear me. It has two reasons. First, Simi's voice was not so strong as she has already suggested such in the last paragraph. And secondly, Aradhana was also disturbed by the unknown and unwanted fact that suddenly revealed to her. She stood in frozen despair, screaming a great silent scream full of pain. So Simi finds Aradhana standing still like a frozen being due to her despair. And she can also hear a great silent screaming of Aradhana, a scream full of pain. Aradhana, Aradhana, I shook her by the shoulders. Simi shook Aradhana by her shoulders and again did not get any response. Dadi, Dadima, I cried helplessly, come quickly. Now she felt helpless and cried loudly. She asked grandmother for help. Dadi, Dadima, come quickly. Grandmother came wobbling on heavy feet. What's the matter? She asked. What's the matter? She repeated, alarmed. Aradhana, for heaven's sake, speak up, speak up. So as Simi cried for help, Dadima came to them unsteadily. Wobbly means unsteadily. And grandmother came wobbling on heavy feet. What's the matter? She asked. Grandma is inquiring what is the matter with Aradhana, why she is so silent. And what's the matter? She repeated, alarmed. So grandma alarmingly repeated the question. She has felt the urgency of the situation. And that means She is sensing something fatal, something serious. Aradhana, for heaven's sake, speak up, speak up. She also tried to make everything normal. She pleads Aradhana to speak something. And it is a conventional way she is adapting now. She is now following to help someone to come up out of a trance, especially from a trance which happens due to a pathetic situation. Next paragraph. But the silent scream continued, although her lips were closed. My grandmother flapped around her. Aunt Pramila did so. Mrs. Kothari, the principal, and the students of the dance school wanted to know what was wrong. So we can see in this paragraph that Aradhana remains silent, whatever the situation is. She doesn't respond to neither Simi nor grandmother. And the narrator can still listen to her silent cry while she has not uttered a single sound. But the silent scream continued, although her lips were closed. Then my grandmother flapped around Aradhana. Aunt Pramila did too. So now Aunt Pramila is also trying so that Aradhana speaks something. Mrs. Kothari, the principal, and the students of the dance school wanted to know what was wrong. Here the narrative introduces the principal of Kamala Devi School of Dance and Music. She now has arrived in the scene along with other students, and they are now inquiring about what happened to Aradhana. Next paragraph. With a hopeless cry, I flung my arms around Aradhana's neck and wept. It's not true, Aradhana. It is not true, I sobbed. Aradhana freed herself from my embrace. She stared at Aunt Pramila and she asked Dadima, is it true? Is it? So with a hopeless cry, I flung my arms around Aradhana's neck and wept. At the end, Simi, the narrator, couldn't control herself anymore. The caring sister of Aradhana, she couldn't stop herself but flung her arms around Aradhana's neck and she started weeping, huggingly Aradhana. It's not true, Aradhana. It is not true, I sobbed. So the narrator now tries to comfort Aradhana, saying that whatever they have come to know, whatever they have heard suddenly is not true. And she herself was sobbing in pain. And what was Aradhana's reaction? Aradhana freed herself from my embrace. So Aradhana first makes herself free from the comforting embrace of Simi, who was sobbing while hugging her. And this response can be interpreted that she doesn't need any consolation. She is out of that feelings. And Aradhana freed herself from my embrace. She stared at Aunt Pramila and she asked Dadima, is it true? Is it? So after freeing herself from Simi, Aradhana then stared directly at Aunt Pramila. And then she asked Dadima if it is true or not. And she wanted to know, is Aunt Pramila's statement true? Is she an adopted child? That is very important for her to know. Right? The story goes on like that. Is what true, child? My grandmother faltered, her eyes full of misery. Is what true? What? Aunt Pramila said, I want to hear the truth. I must know the truth. She screamed, I must. So, is what true, child? My grandmother faltered, her eyes full of misery. Is what true? So now the grandmother was a little bit confused, or maybe she was trying to kill the time, trying to ignore the question. She asked Aradhana back for clarification. Is what true, child? Is what true? Here Aunt Pramila responds, what? Aunt Pramila said, I want to hear the truth. So she claims that she does want to hear the truth. And in the same line, Aradhana said, I must know the truth. The narrator said that she screamed and repeated that she must. Aradhana is repeating her words that she must know the truth. So for Aradhana, it is a high time that she must know the truth, must know what is the fact regarding her birth, regarding her complexion and all that. Her gesture is suggesting that she will not allow to change the topic until she knows the truth. She is stubborn in that case. Then, all right, my grandmother trembled. Shh, child, don't get so upset. Don't. The truth, grandmother. All right. Turning to me, she whispered urgently. Get your mother, child. Get her, quickly. So, all right, my grandmother trembled. Shh, child, don't get so upset. Don't. The grandmother tries to comfort Aradhana, though she herself was very much nervous and thus trembling, but still she puts an effort to console Aradhana, saying her politely not to get upset. And in response to her grandmother, Aradhana emphasizes on the query, the truth, grandmother. All right. Turning to me, she whispered urgently, get your mother, child. Get her quickly. At that point, Grandma instructed the narrator, Simi, to quickly call their mother. And she whispered urgently. She could feel that the mother is the one who should take a hold of the situation. I shouldered my way through the crowd of silent onlookers. When I reached the door, I heard my sister's voice torn with grief. Leave me alone. All of you, oh, why don't you leave me alone? So, and this paragraph said that Simi is obeying what she was instructed by her grandmother. I shouldered my way through the crowd of silent onlookers. This line reflects that she is in hurry and struggling to get through the silent crowd who stand as audience. And while leaving the room, she has also heard the voice of Aradhana, her sister, pleading the others to leave her alone. When I reached the door, I heard my sister's voice, torn with grief. Leave me alone, all of you. Oh, why don't you leave me alone? She is impatient now. Aradhana's voice is broken with grievousness, and that means the truth has already made a deep impact on her. So, in this section, we have seen that a harsh familial secret has been revealed, and that is revealed unexpectedly. And that truth has left a great impression to our narrator and also to the person who is the central to that truth, Aradhana, the sister of the narrator. And Aradhana is shocked and shattered, and she asks her grandmother to confirm the truth. And grandmother sends Simi to summon their mother. And the grandmother is sensible enough to feel that such kind of truth should be revealed from the parents only. And it is uninvited that an outsider of the family reveal the truth. So she instructed Simi to call her mother to handle the situation. We will see what happened next in our next class, and now we will have a look on our new exam pattern, and that is going to be followed in the upcoming exam next. So we will have that look, but before that we will have a short break.
प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
संसाधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोट से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोट से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर। दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बहुत,
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने।
Welcome back, learners. We were reading I Must Know the Truth, second section. We have already read the first section in our previous class, and we have come to know that Aradhana is now on the way to perform a grand event, an inauguration event on a grand dance show from their School of Music and Dance. And at that time, when her family arrives there to congratulate her for that grand event, she came to know about a hard truth of her life. And we have already come to know in the second section that that truth had made a deep impression on her. And we will do what happened next. We will surely learn of that in our next class. But before that, I would like to have a discussion with you about the upcoming of the revised question paper design, the sample question paper, and the revised bifurcation of the syllabus for our senior secondary English course code 302. You may have a look at that bifurcation that is shown on the slide, and you will find it from the NIOS website very well. If you search in the Chrome or in the software that NIOS 302, you will directly go to the syllabus and the whole study material, and along with this bifurcation of the syllabus, the question paper design and the sample question paper along with marking scheme. So first we will discuss the bifurcation of syllabus for the 302 course. So first of all, we have the total number of lesson, that is 36, including the book 2, including the optional modules. The maximum number of lesson is 36. And for these 36 lessons are divided into two parts. One part is TMA, tutor marked assignment, and the other part is public examination. Tutor mark assignment carries 40% of our total marks, and public examination will carry the 60% of that of our syllabus. So TMA, under TMA we have 14 lessons, and under public examination we have 22 lessons. So this 14 lessons carries makes the 40% of the whole syllabus, and this 22 lessons of public examination carries the 60% of the whole syllabus. Next we will see the book 1 and how it is divided into the TMA and the public examination syllabus. So in book 1, which includes the prescribed text, both prose and poetry, we have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 11, 15, 19, 20, 22 and 25 as well. And in the from book 1 for public examination we have chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, chapter 10, chapter 12, chapter 13, chapter 14, chapter 16, the present story which we are doing now, I must know the truth, followed by chapter 17, 18, 21, 23 and 24. So the story I must know the truth comes around under the public examination. So you may expect questions from this story in your term end exams. And for book 2, we have 2 optional modules, and from optional module A we have only 1 chapter for TMA, that is 30th chapter, 30A, and other rest of the chapters, that is 26, 27, 28, 29, that will be covered under public examination. And from the optional module B we have 2 chapters, 27 and 30, and rest of the chapters from this module will be covered under public examination. So one thing we must notice here, that none of the chapters from TMA will be there in the public examination, and the none of the chapters from public examination will be there in our TMA, our tutor mark assignments. So there is a clear distinction between these two parts, TMA and public examination. So while doing TMA, you must have seen that there is a indication, there is a suggestion that from where these questions are coming from, and more importantly, if we are attempting that particular question, from where we will get a suggestion for that question, for answering that question. And I am saying that only for the TMA. For TMA we will have that provision, but that is not the same for public examination. In a public examination you have to read the question carefully, and you have to identify from where you have to answer that question properly. So this is the bifurcation of our senior secondary English course, and I hope you have understood that TMA and public examination parts are very much different from each other, and you will not get any question from the chapters that come under public examination in your TMA, and none of the questions of public examination will come from the chapters of TMA. So apart from that, I must share with you that that previously there was a sharp division of for the public examination questions, that this chapters will form the objective type of questions and this chapter will form the subjective type of question, and that is now obsolete. Now we have all the chapters under public examination that will carry both the objective type of questions and both the subjective type of questions, and that is applicable for both both book 1 and book 2. We will discuss in details of that question paper type with the sample question paper in our next slide. But before that, we will have a look on the question paper design for our 302 course. So as we all know that the maximum marks of our question is 100. We have to attempt 100 marks for our exam, and for that we are allotted 3 hours. 3 hours is a long time. And now we will have a look of the weightage of the questions. First of all, for knowledge based question, we may expect that 30% of questions of the whole question paper will be knowledge based, 35% of questions will be of understanding, and 35% of marks, 35% of questions, 35% of whole 100 marks will be questions will be of application based. So this is a clear marks that how much marks will be come from will be there to assess the which part of our domain. So knowledge based 30%, understanding 35%, and application also 35%. Total there will be 100 marks. Now you will find this question paper design from the website, and you will find that after that question paper that domain division, we will have the weightage by type of questions. I want to discuss that as well with you. You may view the slide that weightage by type of questions, that there will be objective type questions. If we divided the whole question paper into 2 parts, the first part is part A, that will form the objective type of questions, and the next part is subjective, that will carry the subjective type of questions, that is part B. For objective questions, there will be MCQ questions, there will be fill in the blanks, there will be other true false type questions, matching, one word supplement. There will be various type of objective questions, and there will be objective questions of 1 marks, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, as well as 5 marks. And 2 marks question must have 2 subpoints. You have to attempt both the questions. And for 3 marks question, there will have 3 subpoints. 4 mark question will carry 4 subpoints, and 5 marks question includes 5 subpoints. So altogether they will make the 50 marks, and all these questions will be objective type. To move on to the subjective type of questions, first we have VSA, that means very short answer type questions. And the expected word limit for to answer these questions are 20 to 25 marks, and 5 words, sorry. And this VSA type questions will carries 2 marks, and you may expect 14 number of VSA of in your exam question paper. For a short answer type question, that is commonly known as SA, so the word limit for this type of questions would be 40 to 45 words, and this short answer type questions will carry 3 marks, and you may expect 3 number of questions for that short answer type questions. Next we have long answer type questions, shortly LA. The word limit for this type of questions is 70 to 80 words, unless specifically elsewhere. So it will carry 4 marks, and you will have 2 4-mark questions, 2 long answer type questions. Lastly, you have essay type questions, and you have to attempt only one essay type question, and the word limit for that is 100 to 150 words, and this essay type question will carry 5 marks. So if we sum up the whole thing, then you may see that 1 mark, you have questions 1 mark, 2 mark. I mean, the whole objective type of question will carry 50 marks, and that could be from anywhere. That could be from every module, every part of your question paper. That is the comprehensive passage, the unseen passages, the grammar, the writing skill, and the prescribed text, both prose and poem. And all together they will make a 50 marks question, and you will get internal choices for these questions, and within it you may expect 20 questions MCQ, and other 30 questions will be of various types. That means true false, that could be fill in the blanks, that could be matching, that could be arranging, rearranging, anything could be that, and all together it will carry only 50 marks. Now for the other 50 marks for the subjective types, as I have already said, that VSA question will carry 2 marks, and you have to attempt 14 VSA, and altogether 2 into 14 or 14 into 2, that total marks is 28. Similarly, short answer type questions that carries 3 marks, you have to attempt 3 questions. So 3 into 3, that is 9. Next, for long answer type questions that carries 4 marks each, you have to attempt 2, and 4 into 2, that means 8. Similarly, the essay type question that carries 5 marks, you have to attempt only 1. So 5 into 1, that means 5. Altogether 50 plus 28 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5. Altogether it carries 100 marks. Alright, and one more thing, for the subjective questions as well, you will get an internal choice for the questions. That means for essay type questions, as you have to attempt only one question, you will get another choice. You have to choose any one between the two. And for long answer type questions, you have to attempt 2 questions. You will get an extra question to attempt. You can choose any 2 among the 3. And these options will be very much internal. We will move on to further question paper design. Next we have weightage by contents, and now we will discuss from which module how much questions will be there. So for poetry, that is prescribed text, you may look at the slide that from poetry, that from a prescribed text, from the book, from the SLM, you all have, I am sure about that. So from poetry you have only 10 marks, both including the objective and the subjective questions. From prose, from the prescribed text, you will have 15 marks questions. And from comprehension and vocabulary, for the non-prescribed text, for that are commonly known as the unseen passage, you will get 25 marks. And from grammar, that includes tense, nouns, verbs, fill in the blanks, all the grammar portion we have seen, we can see in this SLM, you will have 15 marks grammar. And writing skill carries 20 marks. Writing skill could be of various types, like letter writing, report writing, article, memo, office order, essays, and various other types, and that will altogether it will carry 20 marks. And lastly, we have optional modules, and we have 2 optional modules, and each of them will carry 15 marks. we have to attempt any one of the module. We couldn't attempt like that we will do the subjective part of that module and we will do the objective part of the other module. No, we couldn't do that. We have to stick to one optional module. So I hope you have understood well that what will be the division of the what is the distribution of marks among the modules. So poetry and poetry will carry 10 marks, prose 15 marks, unseen passages 25 marks, grammar 15 marks, writing skills 20 marks, and optional module each carries 15 marks. Altogether it makes 100 marks. And finally, we have the difficulty level of the question paper. So among the whole 100 marks questions, the difficulty level will be very much, the most difficult questions will carry the 30% of the questions. Average questions will be of 35%, and you will get 35% of the whole question paper very much easy. So that is the basic distribution of marks for the questions. I hope you have understood that what will be the distribution of marks of the question paper, of the modules, how they will be distributed. And I am repeating the statement again that the marks I have already discussed, that the 10, 15, 25 in our previous slide, and it is all together. I mean, that is including both the subjective and the objective part. Both will together carry that 10, 15, 25 altogether. That is the 100 marks. So this is the question paper design. Next we will see the sample question paper, which is well available in the website, and at the very beginning of that question paper, you have a short note that will guide you, that will help you to carry on the question, carry on answering the questions. So first point is that there are 45 questions in all, divided into two parts, that is the subjective part and the objective part. All questions are compulsory. As I have already said, that you will get the internal choices of that question. So you have to attempt altogether 45 questions that have subparts under it. Marks for each questions are indicated against it. You may have seen that in your sample question paper. Then the question number of 1 to 25 are carrying 1 mark each. That is the subjective part of the question paper, and some of them are in subparts that include MCQ, fill in the blanks, true false, match the column, one word answer type questions. And I am repeating the questions once again, repeating the statements once again, that only 20 marks will be of MCQ and the rest of the 30 marks will be distributed among the fill in the blanks, true false, match the column, one word answer, and various other types. Question number 26, 28 to 34, 41 and 43 are short answer type questions that carry 2 marks each. And answer to these questions should not exceed 30 words each. So for each 2 marks questions, you have 30 words, and you shouldn't exceed the word limit. Question number 27, 36 and 40 are carrying 3 marks, and answer to these questions should not exceed 40 words. And question number 44 to 45 are carrying 4 marks, and answer to these questions should not exceed 100 words. Question number 42 is a long answer question that is carrying 5 marks, and answer to these questions should not exceed 150 to 200 words. Apart from that, note number 9 says that question number 35, 37 and 39 have 2 test items in subparts of 1 mark each. And question have to be attempted either from optional module 1 or optional module 2 in all sections. So that's about the sample question paper. The question paper, we have already discussed the question paper design and along with the bifurcation. I'm repeating once again that the bifurcation is only divided into two parts, TMA and the public examination, and there is no other division like that objective part and the subjective part. All the chapters that are included under the public examination will be there in the subjective part as well as the objective part. So prepare like that. And you have a separate chapters for TMA. I hope you have already doing that TMA or have already submitted it. And apart from that, we have discussed the question paper design, how much questions you may expect from which part of the questions and something like that. And then we have the sample question paper for the senior secondary English course, and we have discussed the note that are at the beginning of that question paper and followed by the whole sample question paper. I am requesting you all to go through the question paper and as well as the question paper design and the bifurcation, and if you have any query, please feel free to contact me. And that's all about that today's discussion. We have discussed the sample question paper bifurcation and question paper design for our upcoming question. In the question pattern will follow this pattern. And apart from that, at the first part of our discussion, we have read the story I Must Know the Truth, the section 2 of that story. We have done the section 1 in our previous class. In our next class, we will read the rest of the story. Before that, we will have a goodbye. Thank you.